Hello and happy New Year's. Um, I'm back again to talk about the S.H.E project, and I just wanted to give a little more information about S.H.E. I know I talked about it my in my introduction video how the S.H.E project derived from my mom. It was based upon my mom because she would always share at the meeting at her meetings at her NA meetings that would share her strength, hope, and experience. So she, S.H.E, came from a friend of mine that I was talking to one day. I was sort of venting, talking about work and talking about some other things. And I was also, believe I was feeling down about my mom, missing my mom. And she, my friend, while I was talking, must have said something about strength, hope, and experience. And she was like, Ebony, words really stick out to me, and I get the word she. So I didn't know what she was talking about at first. And then she said she, strength, hope, and experience. So that's where the acronym came from. When I was talking with my friend, and then that sort of was a confirmation from another friend that I was talking to. And she was telling me, some things that I was going to do and some things that God had for me to do. And so when I was talking to my friend that gave me the acronym for strength, hope, and experience, it was just it was so much confirmation that I had to pull over to the side of the road just to get myself together because I was so overwhelmed with excitement and emotion because I have been really going through, I have been going through a lot since I lost my mother, emotionally missing her, you know, um, I'm just trying to learn how to live without her here on earth. So that's where that came from. So going on, one of the things that I did want to introduce, and one of the things I remember when my mom first got clean, and when she first decided that she was no longer going to use drugs and alcohol, she had a sponsor and she would go to meetings. And one of the things that her sponsor told her to do was to make a God box. In the God box, she was instructed to write down what it was that she wanted to go to God about, anything she needed to pray about, and she would write it down on a piece of paper and put it in the God box. And so the God box is not replacing who God is. That's not what I'm saying, but it's almost the concept of letting God and letting go and letting God. Said it a little backwards, letting go and letting God. It was like once I take it to Him, and that's just a symbolization, then I leave it there and know that God's going to work it out, or He's going to, um, you know, yeah, work on it, work it out, and then I just need to find out what I need to do while he's working on the situation. And then I can always go back and revisit the box. I can go back later on and see if if the prayer was answered, or if God gave me an answer how to deal with the process, or because sometimes we may be asking God to take something away. He don't necessarily take it away. He just teaches us how to handle it or how to process it. And so what she did was she got a box and she decorated. She actually had the box until the day she passed away. It was a long, tall box, and it had floral wrapping paper on it. So, and I remember, I don't know if she still used it until the day, but I remember um, her using the God box when she first got clean. And I think sometimes that's a good idea, for us to utilize something, because then it sort of almost gives us a relief sometimes on, like, okay, I went to God about it. I can't take it back in the box. Can't take it back. I've already given it to Him. So let me allow Him to deal with it and deal with me and teach me or show me or direct me on what I need to do. So I wanted to show you guys a few examples of God box. I never use it, but I think I'm going to use it this year just because I'm talking to, you all about it. And sometimes I can get in that place where, I'm praying to God about something. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, God, I'm giving it to you. I got faith. And then next, I'm like taking it back from him. So I would like to utilize that just to do it. So I have a thing for boxes. I do crafts and decorate a lot. And so I utilize boxes to decorate. So I have a whole bunch of boxes in my house and a lot of them are wrapped up. So I'm going to just show you some examples. You don't have to wrap it up. It could just be an old um, box. You can get a jewelry box. It doesn't even have to be a box. It can just be a canister. These are just examples. So it can be a canister. Um, it can be a few other things. So I have a few little different boxes here. But here, this is like a file box, right? You can decorate if you want to. I bought it from Hobby Lobby. It was for decoration. It was for my sister-in-law's treat table. But this is just an example. I have it. So this here, you don't even have to put a slit. Usually, the God box my mom had a slit. It had a slip at the top, but it could also be open. It can also be open. So you can put the slit if you want to, or you can just always open the box up. So this is one of the boxes. You can put a God box here. You can decorate the box if you like to. If not, you can just leave it white. Okay. And you'll put this box in a safe place. A safe place where you talk with God about, a safe place where you have your own time that you spend alone when you just need me time. So you'll put this in a safe place. Okay, here goes some other examples. This here is a little decorated. It is a box. The top is on the bottom. Okay, because it was a centerpiece, but this is just an example of you wanting to decorate your box. And then you would, I could get another top and put it on top of here. I could find another top like this and just put it on top if I wanted to. But this here, I painted it. This was for another centerpiece that I did for a coworker's birthday party. But you can decorate if you want to. Got crowns on it for the king. You going to the king for your prayers. So that's an example. Here's another one. This is a circular one, silicone. This is not but and this one is decorated too. They don't have to be decorated. You can get a box. I know sometimes at the dollar store they have decorated boxes already, especially around the holidays. But they do have little birthday party boxes, and they can close up, and they have containers that are already decorated if you want to. And then here, this is another box. Okay, this is a big box. Okay, I mean, you got a lot to talk about with God, but and this one is totally sealed up. You can't take the top off, so you would have to put a slit. Okay, and you just drop your prayers in there or whatever you want to talk to God about. That's what you want to put in there. Okay? And like I said, that box is not taking the place of God. I'm not praying to the box. Like the box is not answering my prayers, but it's just a place that I can take my prayers to and leave them there. Okay, and I can always revisit them at the end of the year. I can go through and be like, God, look what God brought me through. Okay, okay, no, he didn't take it away, but look what he helped me do, or look how he helped me to deal with the process, or look how he helped me deal with the problem, or look who he brought in my life to help me deal with this situation. Okay, so that's what the God box is for. It's not taking the place of praying to the box. Okay, I'm still praying to the Heavenly Father. It's just this is a symbolization of letting go and letting God. Okay, so that's I wanted to introduce to that. I really like this one. I might use this one or make another one where the top is. The holidays, this holiday has been really good. They're still very complicated for me because I do miss my mother. And it was also complicated because there were other situations that happened in my family that sort of put me in a place of trying to find where I fitted. When my mom passed, um, I knew where, I had my brother and my sister-in-law, but there's certain things that have happened, the dynamics of my family has changed a little bit. And so I sort of had to find my place, so like during uh, Thanksgiving, I went to California, and that was just to get away from all. Sometimes you just gotta get away and act like the world don't exist for just a minute. I mean, we all have to come back to reality, but sometimes you just gotta take what's going on. Um, in this project here, um, and I'm trying to just figure out where to start. Do I start right here at this moment where I am in my life right now? And right now, overall, life is good. Like, life is good. Even though I miss the hell out of my mother, life is overall good. I'm overall in a good place. I work, I have two jobs, and both of them I love. I don't know if I love teaching more than I love the other job, but um, in my primary job, if you want to say, um, it's very rewarding because I work with children with intellectual disabilities or special needs. But it's very demanding, and but it's very rewarding, as well as I have employees, and it's very rewarding to see them grow. Um, as I said before, I'm not a pastor, a preacher, an evangelist, but I am a teacher, and I like coaching, and I like showing people uh, another way to do things and how to grow. And a lot of that I do is because I needed it. Growing up, um, as I said before, I love young adults, and I remember being a young adult, and because my mom was in a certain place, there were certain things that she could not teach me, or she was not able because of her state of mind. And so, um, I remember when I was 21, 22, at a job, had an attitude or just didn't know how to communicate well with people. And, thank God he placed people in my life who would be like, Ebony, that's not the proper way to do that. Or Ebony, next time don't do this. And they did it in love. It wasn't like a condemning me, but just showing me that it wasn't the right way. And so when I first started my job, when I first, man, I was brought in as like a hammer, you know, get things in order, get things straight. And it made it, I mean, you had to do it, but it made things difficult. And so I had to ask God to show me what I needed to do, to sort of switch around, to still do discipline, because no matter what, as a supervisor, you still got to deal with conflict. And I don't like dealing with conflict. But as a supervisor, that's part of your responsibility and your duties. That's some things you're going to come up against as long as you have employees and coworkers. But as well as dealing with conflict, you have to be able to find resolution. And so I wanted to God to show me what did I need to do in order to change things around. So now I'm at a place where I have seen a lot of, well, the staff that I have still have my original staff. I've seen them grow, and in them growing, I grew. So I had to look at myself too. Couldn't just look at them. I had to see where I needed to fix things or change things or go back over and start over again. And one of the things I did was reintroduce myself, because I felt that I was introduced incorrectly. And so I went back and reintroduced, told them who I really was and why I was there and the things that I did. That sort of made things a little better. Not that I still don't have a rough time, but it makes it. And I've learned these different things, like I said, through trial and error. And although there were some things my mom did not teach me or was not able to, there was a lot of things that I did. And it's a funny thing because my mom wasn't, she was a functional addict. So she went to work every day. I always known her to work and go to school. I mean, by the time she passed, she had a doctorate degree. So I always understood education. Like I always knew that you had to work, and I always knew that you needed some type of education. And so she was a functional addict. So there were a lot of things that I did learn, but there were some things I didn't, like taking care of your credit and those sorts of things. And you have to hustle and steal and stuff like that. Those are things that I learned how to do. Some of the things I learned how to do, growing up with my mom and her being a single mother. She was a single mother with me and my brother. So, and sometimes, because sometimes she was married. I mean, she was married. She didn't stay single long. She didn't stay single long, and for I don't know why, but for years I had sort of resentment against her, like that she would not stay single and that she would get married. And maybe it's because I wanted her to be with my father, and I didn't really know him very well. At the end of the day, now I understand. Shit, I don't want to be lonely either. So, oh God, but yeah. So, I remember one of the things that I talked about in my introduction video was my character, and that's something that I'm. At one time, I didn't care. I didn't care what you thought about me. Now, let me say this: I don't care what you think about me now, as if you don't like me. But if I'm saying that I'm a certain way, I do care that I show what I say that I am. Okay, so I don't know if that makes sense, because I do understand that there's just going to be people that don't like you, and it's okay. Um, but if I say that I'm a Christian, then I want to show that. I want to show the love. I want to show the understanding. I want to show, and it doesn't always come out, and sometimes the only good thing is that I'm able to retract and be like, wow, oh, so it reminds me of one time me and a coworker, we went to this restaurant and they have this sauce. We got shrimp and they have this sauce that's called crack, and it's really good. And so she had bought some extra ones and we were waiting for my food. And so the guy, I was like, she wanted some more and he went out. So I can't remember exactly what I said, but whatever I said, it was sassy. It was like an attitude. And then I caught myself and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It wasn't supposed to come out like that. And he was able to laugh it off and joke. He was like, well, what you thought I was going to take her money or, this, that, and the other. And so we were able to laugh it off. But I think we were able to laugh it off because I recognized that what I said was not nice. It wasn't kind. It wasn't pleasant. It was sometimes I can say that black girl attitude, or what they quote unquote say. I know we're not the only one that have that attitude, but that's what the stereotype is. I'm sorry, my cat is in the closet. I heard him. So my character is something that I really have been working on for a very long time. And I think I'll be working on it until the day I die. I think on purpose, I have to. And I think right now, God is really testing me. truly do. And I think it's tested me at my job that I work at. And um, there's a lot of days that I have to, just go home and rethink about things I said, or, why did a person say this to me, and so he's really working on my character. He's working on, my character as, somebody offends me or they say something slick out their mouth to me. And I'm thinking like, what did I just say? And then I still have to come back and still be pleasant, still be professional, you know, and it has been a lot of work for me right now. And it's funny because sometimes when I get annoyed or upset, I can hear God tell me that you've been in this place before. You've been in this place before and you know what to do. And when he tells me that, I know that I have to get out of my flesh. And I remember my mom, there was something that she would always say is, ask God to help you understand instead of being understood. And at the time when certain things happen, I'm not thinking like that. I really want to just go off. I just want to be really unprofessional and just go off. But, sometimes I just, I have to be saying that serenity prayer, like, God grant me serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and wisdom different. Sometimes, like, God, just please help me, help my mouth, hold my tongue, and those are things that I have to do on purpose, and still learn how to be loving and kind when I know that, people are not being the same way to me or don't like me. So, but that's part of the process. And what I've learned is that you'll get that anywhere. It's not just one place. Sometimes I remember I had a job when I said I've been to this place before. I used to work for the STD, and I remember hating that job, but I loved my clients, and that's what made me come to work every day. Besides me needing a job, but I would have come in, and because sometimes we had regular clients, and we would come in, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're here today. I need for you to register me," or, you know, I had clients that were young ladies that were prostitutes, and they would just look for me, like, is Miss Ebony there? I just need to talk to her. And so I had to learn how to remember why I was there, and it was bigger than people disliking me, or it was bigger than um, so and that's one of the things that I had to remember. I had to remember, why are you here? Why does God got you here? Um, and so that's where, when God reminds me, you've been here before, utilize the tools that you utilize to get through where you were at before, utilize them here. And so then that's where I have to ask myself, why are you here? What's the purpose of you being here? And it's bigger than how you feel. It's bigger than if somebody offends you. It's bigger than people not liking you. It's bigger than, things that you don't like. I have something for you to do here, and I need for you to ask God to remove that so you can do what I need for you to do. So there's plenty of days that I went to work and I'm practicing, literally practicing how I'm going to tell somebody off. But then the Holy Spirit catches me and says, quickens my spirit. And I'm like, God, I'm sorry. My heart is evil, Lord. Just please clean it up. Like, please clean it up. Please renew my mind. Give me a clean heart. Renew me a right spirit. Renew my mind. And I'm saying this on my way to work. And sometimes it's not working. And I remember one time hearing God say, well, just put on some music and praise me. And once I did that, then those feelings went away. That animosity went away, the resentment went away, the anger, went away. So, and those are some of the you utilize. And like I said, um, God is my source. He is. He's my source. He's what keeps me going. He's what reminds me. And then he places people around me. Because I have one coworker, and she will always tell me, Ebony, you have to remember who you are. And like, she doesn't even know how much I appreciate that, because there are some days I just want to throw in a towel, but she always reminds me, like, you have to remember who you are. You have to remember why God has you here. You can't be scared of who you are. You can't be scared of the gifts and the skills that God gave you. You can't be worried if someone is offended by the gifts and skills that God gave you. And so those are just things that I have to remember. And when I had the job at the STD clinic, I wasn't able to process things like that. As I know, I done got older and wiser. Because you can be older and not wise and still be stupid. Sometimes I ain't still am, but yeah. When I was much younger, I was in my 20s when I worked at SC. But I just remember um, that I didn't have the tool, or I didn't know how to utilize the tools like I know how to utilize now. And also, I didn't have the teaching, one from the church I go to now, and then I listen to a lot of different preachers like T. Jackson, Joyce Meyer, Juanita Bynum. I listen to Eric Thomas, Willie Moore Jr. And I listen to those things because sometimes they help quicken my spirit, and they remind me. They remind me. They help me. They get me through the day in the morning time. I'm listening to something, I'm listening to a sermon, something reminding me, who I am and that I have favor. But although I have favor, don't mean I won't go through trials and tribulations. So that's where I am, working on my character. And part of working on my character is doing. In order for us to get to where we want to go or do what we want to do or improve ourselves, a lot of times we're asking God to um, expand our territory. But what exactly do we want Him to expand? And what are we willing to go through to get the expansion? So we're saying, okay, expand my territory. I want more money, or I want more property, or as I want my character. But what am I willing to do? Am I really willing to do the work to get there? Because it doesn't just fall out the sky. I know we have to have faith as small as a mustard seed, but faith without works is dead. There's some parts that I have to do. I just have to find out what it is that God wants. So that's something that we can focus on. We'll really get into it next time that I make a video, is doing. The step of doing. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to forgive? What do I need to do to make an amendment? What do I need to do to fix my problems? What do I need to do to fix my credit? What do I need to do to go back to school? What do I need to do to get a promotion at work? What do I need to do to develop my relationship with God? Doing the action of doing. know, my friend Keila, she just sent me a text the other day, and let me read it to you guys. And then after I read it, it'll be the last thing I'll talk about on the video today. But let me read it to you guys. She sent it the other day because I had shared my very first video with her just so she can see it. So this says Motivation Monday. Within you is the power to be positive. The way we conduct our lives is not compelled by sources from the outside, but within. Are you fostering negative or positive thoughts? Do you know there is hidden life in your thoughts? You are the creator of what you produce. You have the capability to change your life by changing your thoughts. It's never what really happens to you, merely how you respond. You can decide to use life experience and challenges as a divine path to wisdom, or you can use it as an excuse to stay wounded. The choice is yours. Either way, you must act. Okay. And that's where we talk about doing. What are you going to do? What do you have to do? I mean, she sent this to me right on time. And then her act. So this is Shaquila is the one who gave me the acronym for she. Okay. And so this is the acronym for ACT. Whatever she's ACT is an acronym, and it stands for acknowledge and identify why that feeling or thought. Okay, so acknowledge why you feel a certain way or why you have that thought in your mind. Confront it. That's C. What is its purpose? What is it telling you? Okay, we're talking about the thought again. And then tackle. What action are you going to take to address or overcome it? Okay, so that falls like right in place because that's I listed a few things that I did want to talk about in my next video. We'll talk more. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just looking for what I want. Um, and the first thing I have on here is doing. Okay, so doing action. What are you gonna do? Okay, what are you gonna do? Okay, and when you do it, what are you learning? Okay, so learning falls under doing. So that will be the next thing that we will talk about. Or next thing I will talk about when I do my next video. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And this year of 2019, I got a word from the pastor yesterday. It's going to be an exceptional year. And it becomes an exceptional year because we make it an exceptional year. Okay, so you guys have a wonderful evening and good night.